10 months old also. So the cochlear implant candidacy criteria is increasing day by day. So the number of cases also going for cochlear implant is increased. So as a professional, we need to know what is actually cochlear implant, how it works, and then what is the care and basic care and maintenance. I think almost like 45-46% of special educators are attending this webinar. I think this will be very much helpful for you because you will be seeing so many cochlear implant candidates. So I'll just take you through the what is the care and maintenance of the cochlear implants. So see, basically in cochlear implant, majorly you have two parts. One is internal implant, another one is external sound processor. Internal implant looks like this, and the external speech processor looks like this. This is the external speech processor. You can see on screen also, like this is the external speech processor. External speech processor, you have a BTE type of processor, and then you have OTE over the ear. That means that it just sit on top of your ear. So that's called as OTE, over the ear processor, and then BTE processor is behind the ear, same like BTE hearing aid, what Madhu was telling you about. And then implant is internal implant, which is placed inside by surgery, by procedure, surgical procedure. So after the surgery, you can't see implant. This means this is the implant part. So this is placed inside the body, so it is not visible. So it's completely inside. Once it is surgery is done, so you can't see anything inside. So external processor is attached to the internal implant through a magnet. Like you can see here, even on screen also, like this is called a magnet, and here you have a magnet here, and then processor here, magnet on the processor. So these two will attach, like it will stuck like this. So in between you have a skin. In between you have skin. So internally you have implant, and externally you have a processor. So it stucks, and then the external information, whatever comes, external processor picks up the sound and then gives to the internal implant. To make it very simply, implant works like a heart, human heart. What is the function of human heart? It is just circulates the blood, pumping the blood throughout the body. So it will just pump the blood. The same way, this internal implant will give the stimulation to the nerve fibers. The functioning of the internal implant is it will take the external sounds from the processor and gives to the nerve fiber. So it is just a mediator kind of thing. Takes the information and give it to the nerve fibers. That's the function of the internal implant. And this internal implant has got the warranty of 10 years. Okay. And then external processor is this. So external processor, the same way, like for a human heart implant, if you say, the same way, external processor is a brain, functioning of the brain. What you do with your brain, you think you'll understand whether it's useful or not, whether to take it or not. It completely decides by the brain. So you you work on your functioning of your brain itself. The same way external processor works like that. It takes the information and it will analyze what is speech, what is noise, and depending upon the environment, it will analyze, and whatever the information is useful, that will be sent to the internal implant. So this is like human brain, and this is like internal heart. So just to make it very simple. So if you see the care part, so let's see the implant part. So once the internal implant is inside, so as I said, there is a magnet here. So implant, there is a magnet. So when there is a magnet, so it's not undergo any MRI kind of thing. Again, depends upon the MRI power. Like if you see less than 1.5 Tesla, they can go for an MRI. If it's above, if they are using more than 1.5 Tesla, then you'll have to be very careful. You'll have to approach, the patient has to approach the audiologist or the surgeon. Okay. So up to 1.5 Tesla, there is no issue. With a headband, they can go. But above 1.5 Tesla, they'll have to approach an audiologist or the surgeon. And nowadays, recent implants are coming even MRI compatible also. Whatever I'm saying, this was almost a 1 year back implants, which were since 30-35 years, whatever the implant recipients are there for them. But at present, whatever the top tier implants which are coming now, Profile Series or Profile Pro series implants, they are MRI compatible. Okay. So that you'll have to be very careful before going for an MRI. That is the important thing related to the implant. Then again, scuba diving. If you see here, scuba diving, once if the person is going into the water, then there'll be some pressure on the head. So that pressure has to be person should not go beyond 20 meters. That means approximately you can take it as count it as 75 to 80 feet distance depth of the depth. So implant recipient should not go in that depth. So you can go up to around 15 meters or 10 meters, but not up to the 20-25 meters. That again depending upon the which implant he is on. Okay, so they'll have to be very careful. Up to 10 meters, not an issue. 10 meters means approximately 30 feet distance. Okay, so they'll have to be careful even scuba diving and MRI. And one more thing is ionizing radiation. Ionizing radiation means sometimes cancer people patients may undergo treatment ionized radiation. So over the implant, head or near to the ear, so that radiation should not get exposed. That they'll have to take care. And other than that, sometimes if the person is going for surgery, any kind of surgery, some people may use laser cutting kind of thing. That also they'll have to avoid on the part internal implant area. Okay, and again for mental treatments they'll be using shock kind of things. So even that they'll have to be careful if the person is going that kind of treatment. So you need to be very careful. So they'll have to come to an audiologist or the implant surgeon to take an advice or to seek an advice. Okay, this is about the internal implant part. So that is in general what I said. Now let's come to a COVID related present condition. What we are doing is, other than general things, we are continuing the same thing before COVID, whatever the situations. With that, there are few included things are there. Now, before implantation, at least 2 days before the implantation, then has to ask the person whoever is undergoing surgery, they'll have to undergo RT-PCR test for the COVID test. Okay, whether it's a positive or negative, we make sure that there is no the person is not affected by the COVID. That you'll have to be very careful. And then CT chest also the person has to undergo. That is again to rule out, just to cross check again the COVID. Again, we are advising the candidates to not only candidate but entire family. They should be quarantined for before 14 days before the surgery and 14 days after the surgery, because you never know from where they are getting the COVID. So they'll have to be very careful. If there are any symptoms, we can postpone the surgery. So that's the reason we are advising not to move out of the home before 14 days before the surgery. That means 2 weeks before the surgery and 2 weeks after the surgery. That is related to pre-implant. During the surgery, we are taking some extra care other than whatever we were taking before COVID situation. Now we are taking a same day admission, morning or then just before a day, evening the person has to come to the hospital, and only parents are allowed to the hospital. No other relatives, only parents. And then no mobiles inside the theater. And we are not carrying mobiles. We are just keeping outside the theater. We are not carrying any mobiles, because mobile carries so much of virus or bacteria, anything, because we use it very regularly. So that's the reason we avoid mobiles. And then we are making sure that not too many people inside the theater. Now, before COVID, there used to be at least 6 to 7 or 8 people, sometimes even maximum 10 people also. Now we are restricting to at the maximum 5 people, including everything all together. Even me, when there is an NRT, my time, whatever the surgery is going, that will be projected outside the theater. I'll be saying that what is the procedure which is going, what is the step which is going. And then once my turn comes, I'm just entering into the theater, doing my work for 5-10 minutes, and then coming out of the theater. So we are restricting the number of people inside the theater. Now at the maximum 4 to 5 people, not too many people. And then PPE kits for everyone. Within the theater, whoever is entering into the theater, everyone wears a PPE kit, complete top to bottom. That is mandatory. And then we are posting only one surgery in theater one day. Not only implant, any other surgery. Hospital people are very careful and the surgeons are very careful. So one surgery per day. So be it any surgery or ear surgery, no surgery, anything, one surgery per day. So that is related to during surgery, the changes related to COVID. And then same way, like previously also same. Next day we used to discharge. So if say today morning we are doing surgery, next day evening person will be discharged from the hospital. So that we are taking even now. So today morning if the surgery is done, next day by evening person will go back to the home. Okay. Even after going home, 14 days quarantine again. So family should not move out of the home for 14 days. So this is the care we are taking and we are advising to the patients. And as I was telling you, that is about surgery and internal implant part. This is an internal implant and then surgery part. Then coming to the external processor, speech processor. So speech processor, what is the care and maintenance of the speech processor is this. So majorly this is electrical impulses what it gives inside the internal implant. So speech processor will get affected by the static electricity. So static electricity means if you can feel that if you have a LED screen or any old television in your home, if you keep your hand near to the screen, you'll feel some sensation over the hand. So that is called static electricity. If the child is with wearing the processor something like this, you can see on video now. So something like this, if they swipe it on TV, like touching to the TV screen, so will get affect the speech processor. Nothing will happen to the tail or the implant recipient. Only map will get corrupted. So if the map is getting corrupted, then the person has to come back to the implant audiologist. They'll have to consult an audiologist and rewrite their map. So it's just 2 minutes work, but the 2 minutes child will not hear anything. From the when its map is corrupted, from that time to reset, till that time child will not hear anything. So that's the reason they should be careful. So static electricity will affect the processor map. So that comes through a TV LED screen, and then any plastic slider. You can see here sliding. So wearing this processor and then sliding something will give static electricity that may correct the map. Again, another thing is sweaters, woolen sweaters. If you see woolen sweater, wearing the processor something like this, after wearing it, if you put the sweater from top to bottom, if you are inserting from top to bottom without buttons, there are you can see on screen also. There are two woolen sweaters. So you can see this is without buttons. So if you without buttons, if you are putting from head to bottom, so if you insert it like top to bottom, so it's going to swipe the processor. So that may damage the internal map. So instead of that, avoid this kind of without button woolen dresses, and then try to give with buttons. Like when you have a button, so you're not touching the processor. So that way the map is safe. So you need to take care of this static electricity, which will damage the processor map. Okay, so that is one thing. And second thing is getting into airports or any other mall or anything. You can see everywhere that metal detectors. When there are metal detectors, even that will corrupt the map, or it will include some noise into it. So you should avoid, or you need to switch off the processor and then pass through the metal detector. That you'll have to take care of it. And again, there will be some scanners in even airport. You can see on screen, there will be some scanners where you put your hand baggage and everything. They'll scan through that and then pass it. So even that may damage your processor. Nothing will happen to the child, nothing will happen to the processor hardware. Only software or map will get correct, or it will include some noise. So you just need to, person has to come back to the center and then remap, and then person can use it. So you need to be careful with metal detectors and then scanners. And again, if you see in airports, you see conveyor belts, luggage, which you get the luggage. So if you put this on in a luggage and pack it and then put it on a conveyor belt, even that will give static electricity. So that will damage the map. So you need to be careful of these things. Majorly static electricity and metal detectors and scanners. Okay. So with low power metal detectors, nothing will happen, but high power metal detectors, you need to be very careful. So this is about metal detectors. And then you need to be some processors will be using implantless batteries. Like same thing what you see in hearing aids, you see 675 or 13 size or 312 or 10 size batteries. But implant place are implants will use 675 implant place batteries. That you'll have to take care sometimes, if you're keeping here and there, child may, swallow or kind of things. That thing you'll have to take care of it. So that is again related to the cross directional units. Okay. So other than this, if the person is going through any other surgery, be it like not only ear surgery, any other surgery, because sometimes surgery in theater, surgeon will be using to control the blood loss. They'll be using bipolar, monopolar kind of thing, or they may cut using electrical things. So you need to be very careful. And whatever you are going through, you need to inform your surgeon or the audiologist. So then they'll contact the surgeon. What is the procedure? How they do it? So only the thing is you need to avoid monopolar, and they'll have to use only bipolar during any surgery, any surgical procedure. So if the recipient, that means implant candidate, is going for any surgical procedure, they'll have to consult their ENT surgeon or the audiologist for the complete procedure and whatever the requirement. Okay. So that is related to the surgery things. So that is about care, and then processor care and maintenance related things. So it's very simple. You need to take care of your processor like your child. Like, if you have around 4 years or 3 years old kid, the same way how you take care of your kid, so you need to take care of your processor also same way, because without, it's like, your one of your body part. Without this, child can't hear anything, or the person recipient can't hear anything. So this is like, one part of your body. So you need to be very careful. If this is damaged, so that means it's expensive again, and child will not hear for some time, maybe day, 2 days or something. But we take care within 24. We try to solve it. But if there is a Saturday, if you are getting problem, then Saturday whole day and Sunday, so child has to be off the processor. So you need to be very careful. You'll have to take care of this processor like your kid. Okay. So we will see how to take care of the processor. Like the same way, you can take it like, daily there are few things you need to do, few things daily, and few things weekly, and few things once in 2 to 3 months. So I'll go in detail one by one, what you need to do daily, what you need to do weekly once, and what you need to do once in 2 to 3 months. Okay. So say example, you have a 3 years or 4 years old kid with you. So daily morning, what you do, you'll just wake him up, and then you take him for a brushing. The same way, you need to take out your processor. You can disconnect the battery like this. You have a battery and then processor. You need to disconnect, and here you can see that there is battery compartment like pins. Even on processor, you can see there are, I don't know whether it's visible to you or not, but I am trying to show you, so you can see on video. So this is the processor. This is the processor contact pins. So contact pins, you need to clean it with a brush. You need to take a brush, soft brush. You can use Johnson and Johnson, any other brush, baby brush, and then clean it regularly. Daily, you need to clean it. The internal, this contact pins of both the processor and the battery, daily you need to clean, because there might be some deposits. Over a period of time, the deposits will increase, so it will have a contact pin issues, intermittent kind of thing, or it may go off. So daily you need to clean your processor and the battery with a soft brush. And few people will be using like disposable batteries. So you need to remove the disposable batteries and clean those contact points, and then place the batteries regularly. So this is like brushing your kid. So same way you need to brush your contact pins daily. This is one thing. And then second thing is, after brushing, what you do? So you take your child to the bath. Same way. So after contact pins cleaning, so you'll have to take a soft cloth, one soft cloth, and clean with entire processor and battery. Just connect it, and then you just clean the processor, complete processor with a soft cloth. Okay. So entire processor, battery, even contact pins and coil cable also, you can clean it. Okay. This is daily what you need to do with your processor. And then what you do next? So after bathing, you'll comb your child. So the same way, you have a coil here, coil and cable. So every day, whenever you keep the processor, you can see video. So after placing it, some people twist it. It's like twist it and then place it here like this, or else then place it like this. So you need to be very careful when you place your coil cable, because it looks very simple and then very small, but it's like this thin cable has got 4 cables inside this. So if one cable getting damaged, one cable is damaged out of 4, so entire coil cable you'll have to replace. And believe me, each and every part is expensive. Each and every part is expensive. So you need to be very careful, and you need to tell your parents also to take care of this. So whenever they connect it, so just place the processor on the ear, over the ear, and then it should be like U shape. You can see here. So it should be something like this. So internally there will be implant. So this will go and stuck to implant. So it will be like this. So there should not be any twist. So it should not twist. You should not twist it like this. So it should go and attached to the implant directly like on a U shape base. It should be something like this. So it's exact U shape. So when it's in U shape, so there won't be any damage. Easily it will not get damaged. So these are the 3 things. First, morning you'll have to clean everything with the brush, and then clean it with the cloth, and then see the cable when you are connecting to implant. That is again important. That's on daily routine basis. Every day you'll have to take care of it. Okay. And then what you do for your child, you feed him. Like you give milk or anything. You don't make him empty, right? Like you'll give complete full meals. So the same way, whenever it's like for processor, battery is the one. So you need to charge it completely, not half charging. You just use it for charge it for 1 hour and then half charge and then connect it. So within some time it will go off. So usually this charging will go close to, if you take care of properly, it goes up to almost like 1,000 charging cycles. So that means roughly it should come for 3 years. Warranty for this battery is 1 year, but if you take care properly with proper charging things, so then it will go for approximately 3 years. Okay, so you need to fully charge and then use it, and then after once it is completely discharged, then recharge it. Okay, so the same way how you feed your baby. So you'll not keep your baby empty stomach. So the same way you'll have to do it. So that is rechargeable batteries. You need to feed the batteries. Okay, that is again daily way. So after that, what you do in the night time, you make your child to sleep properly with with good with warm thing. So the same way, processor also morning to evening it works. So it's so much of sweat and everything will be there. So you need to be very careful. So for hearing aids, what you use is like Madhu was telling about try and store unit. So this is something like this. This is what you use it for hearing aids. But this for an implant, we don't use these boxes. We use dry and store units. So these are the dry and store unit. You can see here. So you can see on screen and you can see on video also. This is what is dry and store unit. Open the compartment. You'll have a place over here. There you need to keep your entire processor here. Okay. So you need to close. You need to put this like this, and then close this and connect it to your power plug. And complete overnight. Like around if the child is sleeping at 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock, put this everything inside, and then close it, switch on the thing, and then leave it. So next day morning when the child gets up, just take out, open the compartment, and then use the processor as it is. Same way whatever I did, that you'll have to do it, and then start using the processor. So they'll have to use dry and store unit regularly. Every night they'll have to use dry and store unit. Okay, that is electrical dryer. That is about drying. So this is what you do morning to evening. Morning the child gets up, just clean everything, wipe it. The same way what you do, you need to clean it with the cloth, and then battery need to be fully charged, and then night time when it is used, then put it in a dry and store unit. Regularly you'll have to do on daily basis with your processor. So these are the tasks what you need to do: wiping, brushing, then feeding the batteries, fully charging. That means, and then cables you'll have to take care. So there should not be any folds or twists or anything. So you need to be very careful with your cable, and then dry and store unit. Okay, these are the daily tasks, what you do, what you need to do. And then coming to weekly tasks. What are things you do with your child weekly once? So weekly once you give head bath. So the same way, each and every part you'll have to open. Like processor you'll have to open the cable. So you'll have to cable completely disconnect, and then coil to cable also you'll have to disconnect like this. I made it different parts. Even again battery to magnet and the coil. So these two also you'll have to remove this everything. So part by part you'll have to remove and then clean it with a soft brush. Everything you'll have to clean and then close it one, close it and then use it. So weekly once you'll have to disable, disconnect everything, all the cables, magnet, coil, everything, clean it properly and then use it. So weekly once you'll have to do that with your processor, with the child. So these things you'll have to explain to your parents if you have got any implant recipient kit. So first you need to know, then it will be easy for you to explain your parents or your patients. So that is about weekly ones. So let's see what we do once in 2 months or 3 months. So I was telling you about what you do for your child, the hair cutting, those things, makeup and other things, like whatever you do it. So once in 2 months you do it same way. So in dry and store unit, you have a dry brick. So this is called dry brick. So this dry brick, every 2 months you'll have to change it. Replace it every 2 months. Once in 2 months you'll have to replace the dry brick. So this is called dry brick. So this dry brick has to be changed once in 2 months. Remember this? This is a dry brick. So dry brick once in 2 months. So then once in 3 months, you have a processor here. Processor has got microphone. You all know that even hearing aids has got microphone. The same way, even processor has got microphone. Without my microphone, main functioning of the microphone is to receive the external sounds. Same way, this receives the external sounds. So this has got a protector. Here you can see on picture. The same way you can see on the processor also. This is the processor and remove the microphone protector. So this is what is microphone protector and the processor. So this microphone protector has to be replaced once in 3 months. So every 3 months, this is called as microphone cover or microphone protector. So depending upon the processor, we name it. So this is called as microphone cover. So microphone cover once in 3 months you need to replace. So dry brick, remember dry brick once in 2 months, once in 3 months, dry this microphone cover. So this is how you take care of your processor. And other than that, seasonal tasks. If it's a rainy season kind of thing, if the child wants to play in rain or if the child wants to go for any swimming kind of thing, so you can't restrict your child. No, 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 don't go to your water. So you can do. The child even can go to swim, and the child can play in rain. You can play with water. Even during bath, child can bathe. I got a call a few days back. One of my recipient without he wants processor even during bath. So mother called me and then she was asking about this. Then I explained her. There'll be one Aquaplus accessory. Just take out that sleeve and put it in processor and then start using it. So this is how it looks like. You can see here. This is Aquaplus. So it's just a cover kind of thing. Internally there is one processor, and then this is the coil and cable. Okay, seasonal. Like if the child wants to play in water, or if the child wants to go for swimming or anything, if the child is doing with water anything, so child has to be careful, and this is called as aqua plus, aqua plus cup, aqua plus accessory. Okay, these are the things what the patient has to take care of it. So this is about general. So what is in during COVID at present situation, it's like same thing what we are doing now. We are all doing, we are all every day we are washing our hands. We are going out, we are going with mask. We are taking, we are not touching here and there. If we are touching something, we are putting some gloves and then touching. The same way they'll have to take care of their posture also. So first thing is, before touching the processor, they'll have to wash their hand properly, or else sanitize their hands and then touch the processor. Okay, and then place the processor at the accessories need surfaces. They should not place it here and as you have got some sanitizer, don't put the sanitizer into the processor. So you need to be careful that. Just wipe it and just wipe it with wet cloth kind of thing with sanitized alcohol-based sanitizer. Don't put anything gel kind of thing. Anything alcohol-based, you can just touch it and then clean it safely, so that the person has to take care. So it is all about the how you take care of your processor. Okay. Hope this is useful. I think you all are in front of your screen itself. So if you are listening and if you are awake, thank you so much. Thank you once again, TASLPA, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, organizers. They worked a lot. Organizers, I think last 3-4 days, they are behind the presenters and then presentations. It's very good. Awesome, guys. Happy to work with you all. Thank you. Thank you once again. Hope you all are there.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, Shiva, I can hear.
Yes.
Shiva, excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Susan will.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Shiva sir, for such an excellent presentation, and I think you have given so many simple and practical tips which will be really useful for all the participants when they deal with children with hearing impairment. And I think it is a great takeaway, and I think it was a great learning for everybody. So we have some time now, so can we take up some questions in the chat? Yeah, I just request the participants, if you have any doubts, any questions, you can type in the chat box so that we can take up some questions.
Susan, question is long, not chat box.
Yeah, you can even ask in the unmute the mic.
Shiva, you have to off the notifications and reduce your screen so that your webcam is seen clearly. If required, we'll open the share screen. Shiva, we have one question, but there are a lot of comments. I should say first, there are 4 to 5 people who had commented that it was very nice presentation, very informative. But we have one question: what is the feedback to using Aura Plus if child uses 2 to 4 times a week?
Acco Plus, ma'am.
Correct.
Yeah, Acco Plus, they can use it, ma'am. So actually, even there are few people in Vijayawada, this kind of the environment, like where the moisture is more. There are people who use this continuously. Like they don't remove the aqua accessory. Continuously they'll be using it. So there won't be any issue. Only the thing is this opening the cap and then removing the processor and then connecting it. That's the only thing. So that you'll have to take care. Parents has to take care of that. Otherwise they can use it continuously. There's no issue at all. Even in normal conditions they can use it. It's like this will not obstruct any of sound which goes into the processor. So patients can use it like any other normal situation. They'll be getting the same clarity, almost same clarity. There won't be any change in the sound clarity, so they can use it regularly.
Okay. There's one more.
So there's a question like, what is discharge of static electricity? Means what does it mean?
Static electricity means like like if you see any balloon kind of thing, if just balloon, rub the balloon, you'll feel some like you just put your hand, this like whatever hair you have on hand, that it will get attracted. So that gives some it will have some charge over the balloon. Or else just put your hand in the TV screen near to the screen, so it will have some charge, electrical charge. So that will disturb the map inside the processor. So nothing will happen to the processor, nothing will happen to the child, only map will get corrupted. So that is called as static electricity, we call it. To be frank, I am not very sure what it is in